Okay, projectors, this is today's project. This is a Homelite SXL Chainsaw, a Super XL Chainsaw. Now, these chainsaws are pretty cool. I think they were originally manufactured in America, I think they started out being manufactured in New York, and then they ended up being manufactured in, it says here, Charlotte, North Carolina, so that's pretty cool. I got this chainsaw at a throwout. It was like $10 or something, and I was like, oh, cool, let's have it. So I'll be pretty keen to see if we can get it going. These chainsaws were made in like the late 60s, started to be made in the late 60s, right up through, I think, still even to today. So we'll crack on. What I'll do first is, it looks like it was being used relatively recently. I haven't even, let's check what's in the fuel here. Oh, it's completely full of fuel. Oh, it smells like mold fuel from the 50s. So it's all complete. It's pretty well all there. It's had a hard life, as you can expect. I mean, this chainsaw is probably 30, 40 years old. So we've got a serial number there. I don't know. A bit hard to make out there, but you get the idea. We're not overly stressed about that. Homelite SXL. Pretty cool. This looks like to be maybe a 18-inch bar. That oiler here, the oil reservoir here. We've got the fuel here. Like I was saying, that's pretty well topped off with fuel, which is pretty crazy. I've had this saw for like about a year, so that fuel, I know that fuel's at least a year old, which is pretty crazy. So, and then we got the on-off switch back here, the manual oiler, which is pretty wild. That's old school. We've got the choke on the side here, the air cover. Wonder how the filter is here. I'll just check that out before we go and wash it. Oh yeah, there's a filter under there. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, there's hope yet. Looks like it was loved up until like they stopped using it. We'll get in and give it a good birthday and see if we can't get a run out of it. Just have a look at that. So much better out the gate. Oh my goodness. That's pretty cool. Most of the paint's still on it. That's a cool looking saw. So what we'll do first is we'll get the old fuel out of it. That's always a good start. You never know what's going on with this fuel in these things, or the oil. Oh, it doesn't look that bad. Oh, there we go. Let's suck all that out so we're not putting a bunch of crud fuel up into the carb if we don't have to. Just make sure we, whoa, there we go. Let's go over this way as well. That's her, that's all of it. Give that a bit of a wipe down. Look, see in there. Oh, it seems okay. Doesn't seem that bad. Well, that stops dripping on everybody. Pretty good. We'll suck the oil out while we're here. Then that'll be all manged up and crudded up. We'll actually leave that for now. Put that down here. And because we had sprayed a bunch of water on it, we'll just check, and I always do that, I'll just check the air filter. Let's see if we can't get that off. What's going on here? There we go, beautiful. All right, she's a little bit wet, but we'll blow that out. You can blow that out. Oh. Good as gold, especially for an old saw like this. Carby, there it is. Zama, a Zama carby. That's pretty cool. Or Zama, shout out in the comments if you know those, the old C2. apparently. Choke's working, throttle's working. Right, I say we're not too far off. Go and see if we can go for a run here. Stop. Run, beautiful. So a couple of things we're going to look out for is the compression, right? Now this is a heavy saw, but look at that. Awesome. So, fuel, air, spark and compression. I can see the choke's working. What we'll do, we'll just spray a bit of carby cleaner on this thing, just to make sure there's really no water in there. Then we'll tip that out. And we'll blow that out with the choke closed. So we're ready to put some fuel in it, see if it runs. Now, oh, I'll just wipe that off there. Good old cork gasket, so good. Probably rubberized cork, to be honest. 50 to 1, I don't mix anything else, never have, never will. All right, well, let's say that's a half a tank of fuel. We'll just see what we'll see. Fuel cap back on. Okay, so just seeing the chain runs freely there. Just looking at the saw, like after I washed it, just looks in pretty good nick, you know. All right, so we've got the choke on and we've got the run on, and I've got to be honest with you, that's about it with these saws. We'll just see what we'll see. Actually, there we go. No way. Oh, I love these old saws. That is so cool. All right, so we had the fuel out of it, but geez, that was pretty cool. So I'm just gonna lock it on again, see what happens now. Just gonna put the choke on again. I think I've knocked the choke off. Oh. 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 Geez, it wants to go. Come on, darling. Oh. There you go. This saw has been sitting for so long, and it was just horrible when it got to me, but it's got the coolest sound too. The chain runs, the chain's like kind of sharp. The next thing we need to do is probably get in here and have a look. Well, I'll just see if it starts again. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's heavy, that's for sure. Probably should have been starting on the ground. So we're run, and here we go. Oh. And the oiler works. I don't know what this sort of did to deserve to not be out in the wild, but that's incredible. Oh, it's just some of these old saws, they just surprise you. They absolutely surprise you. Dead set, I've done nothing to this saw, absolutely nothing. You saw it. When I picked it up, when it was here, that's how it was when I picked it up. That's wild. All right, so we'll just tension up the chain a little bit. And what we will do is we'll just throw a bit of lube, little bit of lube on these bar nuts here. Seems like 2 different size bar nuts, which is a bit creative. Okay, moment of truth here. So the tensioner for this is on the front here, like some of the old stills. Just gonna back that off a little bit. Yeah, there we go, that's better. Make sure I can get this off. Oh, geez, that was on there. Ah, it was those washers. And a whole leaf. Great story. Plenty of crud in there. Righto, let's get this off. Ew. Wow, it's a bit of a crazy old design, isn't it? We'll just have a look at this bar. Make sure it's a little bit uneven. Just make sure, like, there'll be a big burr on the side here. So when you run your fingers down, just be real careful not to run it on that, right? And I'll go put them on the linisher. Clean these right up. This is, I reckon this is the original bar, which will be pretty cool if it is, because it's pretty old. I can't see any markings on it. Oh, here we go. 1638029 Who knows? It's an old bar, but it's pretty crazy looking. I'm going to go and linish it. I'll be right back. So we'll give that belt a linish and dressed up the edges and make sure that they're that they're 90 degrees to each other and that they're parallel all the way down. The gauge is the same, and then there's no big burr or anything. So that's looking pretty straightforward. What we need to do is make sure our oiler holes are clear. So we get a bit of, you can wipe them out, or a bit of compressed air. Make sure the gauge is clear down there. Righto. That's great. Putting our chain back on, which dead set is like sharp. So whoever had this was, I reckon they kind of knew what they were doing. Put this back on. Which way have we done that? That way, there we go. Get that running in the gauge like that. Get it around our sprocket. Get it fitted up nicely. What's going on here? There we go. I'm a bit magoo there because I'm doing it for the camera. Oh, I forgot to put our rear plate on. Just make sure you've got that right. That's the one that goes on first because of the oiler, the gap for the oiler, and then it's got to go the right way around. So wrong way around, right way around, wrong, that way, correct. See there? So that oil part for the oiler's lined up there. Back to our chain here, on our sprocket, and then forward onto our tensioner. And then this one, upside down, Miss Jane. There we go, beautiful. I think one of the big benefits of these chainsaws was that back in the day, they were cast out of like a magnesium alloy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that made them like overall lighter, and they were just a better and lighter. I'm just gonna see if we can't get some better bar nuts there. So we're at the mercy of the old nuts, but what I did find is some bigger washers. So we'll put them on, and I think that'll help with the journey a little bit. And we'll just tension this chain up. That's not too bad. Probably a little tight, but we'll live. Just nip those up. going too crazy, mind you. There she blows. All right, let's go for another start. I'll leave the choke in, just put her on the run. What a cool old saw. Let's go cut something. So this is a decent piece of Australian spotted gum. It's about 300 mil across. I haven't sharpened the chain. This is just how it was when I got this chainsaw, and we'll give it a test to see how it goes. Well, there you go. That's about some of the hardest timber you can get around here. And I didn't sharpen the chain. It could do with a little bit of a sharpen, and it could do with a bit of, look, it's not quite even, the chain. And the thing I didn't realise, which I didn't pick up before, is there's no dog on this chainsaw. So it just kept slipping up the log. But you saw there, that was the full, almost the full depth cut. And I've got to say to you, Homelite Super XL, I'm a fan, great saw. Hope you enjoyed this project. Do me a favour, hit subscribe, really helps. And you'll get the next content when it comes out. So hope you like this sort of stuff. It's a cool old saw, happy projecting.